In our increasingly connected world, scrolling through our phones in bed has become a ubiquitous habit. It's a ritual that many of us partake in without a second thought. After a long day, we find solace in the glow of our screens, catching up on the latest updates and unwinding before sleep. We check social media, catch up on emails, and scroll through news feeds, often unaware of the potential consequences. This nightly routine, while seemingly harmless, can have far-reaching effects on our well-being. The blue light emitted by our screens can interfere with our sleep patterns, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. While this digital nightcap might seem harmless, it exposes us to a hidden world of bacteria that can have detrimental effects on our health. Our phones are breeding grounds for germs, with studies showing that they can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat. These bacteria can lead to various health issues, from skin infections to more serious illnesses. This essay will delve into the alarming truth about using phones in bed, shedding light on the risks and providing practical solutions for a healthier lifestyle. Experts warn that the combination of blue light exposure and bacterial contamination can have a significant impact on our health. It's crucial to understand these risks and take steps to mitigate them. The innocent act of scrolling through your phone before sleep is often seen as a way to unwind. Many of us believe that catching up on social media or reading the news helps us relax. However, the reality is quite different. The constant stimulation from our screens can keep our minds active, making it difficult to transition into a restful state. However, this seemingly harmless habit has a dark side. The blue light emitted by our phones can suppress the production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating our sleep-wake cycle. This disruption can lead to poor sleep quality, which in turn can affect our overall health and well-being. Our phones, constantly exposed to various surfaces, and our hands harbor a staggering amount of bacteria, some of which can pose significant health risks. Regularly cleaning our phones with disinfectant wipes can help reduce the bacterial load, but it's not a foolproof solution. It's also important to practice good hand hygiene and avoid touching our faces after handling our phones. As we sleep with our phones nestled beside us, we unknowingly expose ourselves to these microscopic threats. The close proximity of our phones to our faces and hands increases the likelihood of transferring bacteria to our skin and respiratory system. To minimize these risks, consider placing your phone on a bedside table or using a separate alarm clock to wake up in the morning. By making small changes to our nightly routines, we can protect our health and improve our sleep quality. Studies have shown that our phones carry 10 times more bacteria than a toilet seat. This shocking revelation underscores the need to pay closer attention to the hygiene of our everyday devices. While we often clean our hands and sanitize surfaces, our phones, which we touch countless times a day, are frequently overlooked. This alarming statistic highlights the importance of understanding the types of bacteria present on our devices and the potential health risks they pose. Our phones are not just communication tools, they are also breeding grounds for harmful microorganisms. The bacteria that accumulate on our phones can lead to various health issues, ranging from minor skin irritations to more severe infections. Among the multitude of bacteria found on phones, one particular culprit stands out: Pseudomonas aeruginosa. This bacterium is known for its resilience and ability to survive in harsh conditions. It can cause a variety of infections, particularly in hospital settings where patients are already vulnerable. This opportunistic pathogen is notorious for causing a range of infections, particularly in individuals with weakened immune systems. Infections can range from urinary tract infections to respiratory system infections and even sepsis in severe cases. The presence of such bacteria on our phones is a cause for concern, especially for those with compromised health. Pseudomonas aeruginosa is commonly found in soil and water, but it thrives in moist environments, making our phones ideal breeding grounds. The moisture from our hands, combined with the warmth generated by the device, creates a perfect environment for these bacteria to multiply rapidly. Every time we touch our phones, we transfer bacteria from our hands, faces, and surroundings onto the device's surface. This constant transfer of bacteria means that our phones are continuously being contaminated. Simple actions like touching our face and then our phone can introduce new bacteria to the device, further increasing the risk of infection. The warmth generated by our phones, especially during use, further facilitates bacterial growth, creating a perfect storm for infection. The heat not only provides a conducive environment for bacteria to thrive, but also helps them to spread more quickly. This combination of warmth and moisture makes our phones a significant health hazard if not regularly cleaned and sanitized. Exposure to Pseudomonas aeruginosa and other bacteria found on phones can lead to various health problems, ranging from mild skin irritations to severe infections. One of the most common issues is contact dermatitis, a skin rash that causes redness, itching, and discomfort. This occurs when the bacteria on our phones come into contact with our skin, triggering an allergic reaction or irritation. In more serious cases, Pseudomonas aeruginosa can enter our bodies through cuts, scrapes, or mucous membranes, leading to more severe infections. These infections can manifest as eye infections, ear infections, and even respiratory problems such as pneumonia. In individuals with compromised immune systems, Pseudomonas aeruginosa can lead to life-threatening conditions like sepsis, a severe inflammatory response to infection. Your bed, while meant to be a haven of rest and rejuvenation, can inadvertently become a breeding ground for bacteria, especially when we introduce phones into the equation. Our beds are supposed to be sanctuaries where we retreat after a long day, seeking comfort and peace. However, the reality is that they can turn into hotspots for bacterial growth, particularly when we bring our smartphones into the mix. The warmth of our bodies, combined with the moisture from sweat and breath, creates an ideal environment for bacteria to multiply. Every night, as we sleep, our bodies release heat and moisture, which seep into our pillows, sheets, and mattresses. This combination of warmth and dampness is perfect for bacteria to thrive. When we use our phones in bed, we transfer the bacteria from our devices onto our pillows, sheets, and mattresses, increasing the bacterial load in our sleeping environment. Our phones are constantly exposed to various surfaces throughout the day, collecting germs and bacteria. When we bring them into bed, we unknowingly transfer these microorganisms to our sleeping area. This proliferation of bacteria in our beds is a cause for concern, as it exposes us to prolonged contact with harmful microorganisms. The more bacteria present, the higher the risk of them entering our bodies through our skin, mouth, or respiratory system. This can lead to various health issues, ranging from minor skin irritations to more serious infections. While our bodies have natural defense mechanisms to ward off infections, prolonged exposure to high levels of bacteria can overwhelm our immune systems, increasing the risk of developing infections. Our immune system works tirelessly to protect us, but it can only handle so much. When faced with a constant barrage of bacteria, it may struggle to keep up, leaving us vulnerable to illness. This is particularly true for individuals with weakened immune systems, allergies, or sensitive skin, who are more susceptible to the adverse effects of bacterial exposure. For these individuals, the presence of bacteria in their sleeping environment can exacerbate existing conditions and lead to new health problems. It's crucial to maintain a clean and hygienic sleeping area to protect our health and well-being. Regularly washing bed linens, using antimicrobial pillowcases, and keeping electronic devices out of the bedroom can help reduce the bacterial load and create a healthier sleeping environment. To put the issue into perspective, consider this. Studies have shown that our phones harbor 10 times more bacteria than a toilet seat. This shocking statistic highlights the often overlooked reality of our tech hygiene. While we diligently clean our bathrooms and other surfaces, we often neglect our phones, which are in constant contact with our hands and faces. This comparison serves as a wake-up call to prioritize the cleanliness of our phones, especially given their proximity to our faces and mouths. Every time we answer a call, touch our screens, or bring our phones close to our faces, we risk transferring bacteria from our devices onto ourselves. This continuous cycle of bacterial transfer underscores the need for regular phone cleaning and mindful usage habits to minimize the risk of infection. While everyone is susceptible to the health risks associated with phone bacteria, certain individuals are particularly vulnerable and require extra precautions. Infants and young children, with their developing immune systems, are more susceptible to infections and complications arising from bacterial exposure. Their tendency to put objects in their mouths further increases the risk of ingesting harmful bacteria from phones. Similarly, elderly individuals and those with underlying health conditions such as diabetes, autoimmune disorders, or compromised immune systems are at a heightened risk. Their bodies are less equipped to fight off infections